In the middle of my heartache, somebody say he kept me. In the center of my crisis, somebody say he kept me. Church out, God held me. God sustained me. God protected me. And let me tell you something. God shut the lion's mouth. Kept me from losing my mind. Kept me from being destroyed. Kept me from being depressed. And kept me from being tore up from the floor. Kept my life together from falling apart. And now I got a testimony. I didn't hear nobody there. That's why I said, let the redeemed of the Lord. I said, now I got a testimony. Anybody got a testimony? And what's my testimony? That when the wicked, even my enemies and my foes came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and they failed. Is there anybody on your row who can say with conviction that God has been keeping me? He's been my refuge and my strength, a very present help in the time of trouble. As a matter of fact, God has helped me so till when folk can't find me, that's why they don't know where I am, because I've been dwelling in the secret place of the Most High. I've been abiding under the shadow of the Almighty. He's been holding me in the center of his hand, and he didn't keep me from it, but he kept me while I was in it. It's been painful, but I've been kept. I done lost some stuff, and you have too, but I've been kept. I've made some mistakes, and so have you, but I've been kept. I've had some setbacks, but every setback has given me a comeback because I've been kept. And what's going to blow your mind is that Daniel didn't say this after he got out of the lion's den. He testified while he was in the lion's den. Kind of like what David said. Yea, I ain't got no help in here. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I don't fear no evil. Why? Because the Lord is with me. Y'all don't know when to shout. If there's a shadow, that means there's some light. He illuminates my valley. Says while I was in the valley, the lions are still hungry. Their stomachs are even growling louder now. They still want to eat me and do what they would normally do when y'all put folk in the lion's den. But their mouths are shut. Wait, I'm going to bless your neighbor, because somebody near you has been waiting for the lions to leave your life. And God said, that ain't the testimony of the text. God told me to tell you this morning that he's going to leave the lions in your life. They're going to still be there. They just ain't going to be able to do nothing. The text said that when Darius asked Daniel out of the lion's den, it says that there was not a scratch on Daniel. Now, that's confusing, because as a theologian, as an academic, as a man, as a scholar, I'm confused right here, because it did not say that the angel handcuffed the lions and gave them a manicure and a pedicure. it said the angel shut their mouth. So you would expect the text to say that there was not a bite mark on Daniel. But the text says there was not a scratch. I said, Lord, what do you want me to tell you people? He said, tell them that when you are faithful to God, not only will the enemy not be able to taste you, but the enemy can't touch you. Come here, MC Hammer, and help me close. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, tell the devil, you can't touch this. When I was an old bad boy, and I was told that, I said, we're going to see. Hey, God will sustain you. God will secure you. One more thing I'm going to tell you and I'm done. The reason God sustains you and the reason God secures you is because God wants to show you off. Tell your neighbor, God kept you looking good. God wants a good looking representative. They're not there yet, so let me see if I can help. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, who brings forth fruit in its season, and his leaves shall not wither. Oh, y'all heard me say it before. Tell your neighbor, your leaves ain't withered. Because God keeps you looking good. Because you're planted where God wants you to be planted, and you're getting the nourishment that you need. Because, tell your neighbor, God wants to show you off. Tell him you look real good, baby. God wants to show you off. Yeah. Because, let me close, God wants to show you off. Verse 23, because, listen, the text is not about Daniel. The text is about Darius. Because Daniel already had a relationship with God. I can't hear nobody. Daniel is already faithful to God. But Darius was the one with the ego that enacted the edict that for 30 days you got to pray to me. And which meant that somewhere in the back of his small crazy mind, in order for him to authorize that law, he had to think that he had the power. But God let the scene unfold. And he allowed Daniel to be put in that situation when nobody, including Darius, could get him out, so that God would have the opportunity to show up, show out, and show off. With all of his clout and prowess, Darius could not help his friend Daniel. And that's why he said, Daniel, Has your God to whom you've been faithful been able to deliver you? That's his way of saying, was he able to sustain you? Was he able to secure you? And when Daniel answered, when Daniel came out without a scratch on him, Daniel came out without a mark on him, Daniel came out without a bite on him, and when he came out without being bloody, he was a visible and viable demonstration to the power of God.